Instead of counting calories, do this. Hi there, Eve here from Vitamineve Nutrition Counseling, and today I'm going to share with you some practical tips that could help you take steps away from counting your calories and instead take steps towards food freedom. People are hooked on counting calories. For some people, this may show up as having to know the calorie content of everything they eat. For others, this calorie counting could be having a limit of how many calories they're allowed to have in a given day, making them seek only the lowest calorie food options. And for others still, counting calories could look like an unwillingness to eat something unless it's tracked or accounted for in some kind of journal or app on their phone. In fact, this calorie obsession could show up in countless different ways. But what's so interesting is that this chronic calorie counting thing is not so much for weight management or health. Maybe it was when you started, but when it becomes a crutch or something that feels compulsory, it can indicate that this calorie counting is being used to create a feeling of control, a false sense of control over life. So, although this may have been a helpful part of your food journey at some point, ultimately, counting calories can become problematic, especially when you start to notice that you have to count calories, or if you feel stressed out when you don't know the calorie content of your foods, or if you're not willing to eat foods that you don't know the calorie breakdown of, or you know it's an issue when you won't let yourself eat when you're hungry just because you already went above your allotted calorie limit for the day. Or this is a problem, is instead of asking yourself what you want to eat, you only let yourself have the low-cal option. Or instead of asking yourself or eating in a way that will probably fuel your body well, you only let yourself have the low-cal option. If you notice hair falling, food obsession, overeating, or feeling out of control of food, it can be an indicator that there's a problem. Or maybe you're feeling stressed, rigid, not present, unable to be spontaneous, or just stuck in your head when it comes to food and eating. What else? What are the other indicators that maybe you've experienced or that you've seen other people struggle with that you know that calorie counting can be problematic? Drop your thoughts and experiences in the chat below. I want to hear from you. Now, I probably don't need to tell you that all this calorie counting jail situation is no fun. So before I go over how to break this annoying habit, I want to share with you some interesting facts about calorie counting in the first place. First of all, it's really hard to get an accurate calorie count of foods that you're having. Oftentimes, the calorie number that we're getting isn't even accurate. The FDA even allows for a margin of error of 20%. That means that a product that says 100 calories on the package or in the database can actually be anywhere between 80 to 120 calories. Also, your body absorbs calories different than other people's bodies depending on the type of bacteria you have in your gut, or based on your genetics, your health status, body composition, and more factors than science even understands today. Also, how you prepare the food can have an impact on how many calories your body absorbs. So if the food is cooked, chopped, blended, or pureed, these all have an impact on the calories you absorb. Plus, just eyeballing your food is imprecise, as people tend to overestimate or underestimate how much they're eating based on their eating challenges. And don't get me started about how your body will burn the calories. So when you overeat, your body burns more calories. When you undereat, your body burns less. So this whole notion of calories in and calories out is totally inaccurate. So what can you do to take steps towards freeing yourself from this calorie counting mind game? Is one, eat foods that you don't know the calories of. Maybe you could go to a restaurant, and if you do go to a restaurant, be sure to pick one that doesn't have the calorie counts on the menu. Usually this will be smaller restaurant chains or a place that's not a chain at all. Another tactic is to have somebody to prepare your meal for you so you can't know the calorie content. Technique number 2 is to delete your apps, your measuring and counting tools. I totally understand that this could be more challenging if you actually have the calorie counting database already memorized in your head. So something you could do if that's you is just put away the journals if you write it down, or delete the apps or hide the apps that perpetuate this practice. Tactic number 3 is to use your body's signals to guide your eating. Allow your hunger to indicate when to start eating and your fullness when to stop. This will be much more accurate like what your body needs by listening to your body, then using this calorie counting method. And while you're at it, savor your food because this really helps your brain and your body register satisfaction. Tip number 4 is if you want to make sure you're getting balanced nutrition, use the hand method or the plate method. These are more nutrient forward tactics where you could use a proportion of your hand to guide how much of what nutrient to put on your plate. Alternatively, you could use something that's called the plate method, which guides you on how to divide the nutrients on your plate to ensure that you're eating enough. Tip number 5 could be to eat with someone. Though I don't love the idea of comparing yourself with somebody else, sometimes it actually can be helpful to eat someone that you feel is a normal eater. And you could go as far as to actually emulate their food choices or the amount that they eat, or maybe you want to copy their non-county attitude towards food. And here's a bonus point. If you're starting to do this, celebrate your wins. Really, it could be so hard to shift this pattern, so be sure to acknowledge yourself for making this shift. Finally, it helps to make the choice to stop counting calories in the first place. After all, it may be tempting to revert back to your old counting ways. And here's something even more interesting. I've noticed this over the years. You don't even have to make the choice to stop counting with your conscious mind. In fact, your unconscious mind actually wants you to heal this issue and move on with your life. So if you've watched this video this far, woohoo for you, you can be pretty sure that your unconscious has already made the choice to start moving away from calorie counting and moving towards conscious eating. I hope this was helpful. Please comment below to share your favorite tip and like this video so I know if I should continue making more of these videos. Happy eating, everybody. Bye.